Have you ever wondered how some sales teams feel like this powerhouse family while others feel like they're just clocking in and out? One of the best feelings about leading a team is that you hire, you ramp up, you create this amazing culture, and seeing the people that you've put together really strive and have tons of gratitude for you and the company. They're making great money, they love their lifestyle, they love working for you. There is no better feeling than that. But there's a big difference between the teams that are just trying to make money, don't really care about the business, and teams that are like a family that would do anything to grow. And that's what I want to show you here. I can tell you one thing, it's definitely not about having all these meetings and micromanaging and being all over these guys. It's not about giving them these random perks all the time that keep them going and selling. And it's absolutely 100% not about just hiring freaking rock stars, because that's actually a huge trap in its own, which we'll get into. Like, I'm Jonathan Gilardi. I have went from bartending to remote closing for a long time, to coaching and training sales reps, to running an agency, to managing teams. And I can tell you, I have learned so many mistakes over the past 15 years that I want to share with you right here, right now, of how to create culture where you get sales reps ripping deals. And not just that, ripping deals, but they love waking up working for you. They're willing to even do things as like working on a weekend at the end of the month to hit the monthly goal that we've never hit before, which is a true story. We've seen teams rally up because we're 2-3 sales under this huge milestone that we wanted to hit for a monthly goal. And without the knowledge of the manager nor the owners, went and worked on the weekend and surprised the company with massive sales coming in. It was about 4 sales, so not massive, but it was amazing to see that. This is how you create real culture, a real army, because getting the right people in the right chairs and creating the right team culture is ultimately going to grow the business to the highest heights that you can ever imagine. It is the main thing that you need on the sales side. I've personally worked with companies at $100,000 a month, $500,000 a month, $1 million a month, and I can tell you the nuances and the differences of each one. You always need that rock solid culture more than anything else. And right here, I'm gonna give you the main 5 things that you're gonna need to implement to make sure that not only you're creating culture, you're maintaining culture, and you're also creating a culture of people that wanna strive and do better and better and better, even when they're making huge months. Let's get into it. Number 1, it starts with hiring for charisma and culture over everything else. There's something I call the silent killer, and that is when you're hiring someone because you're super confident in their skill, in what they're gonna bring to the table. They're very confident, they're very convicted in themselves. You feel great, you're like, this sales rep is going to absolutely crush it. You feel great off the interview, but the challenge is a lot of those guys aren't as coachable and they have huge egos. And it leaves you with somebody that when things start to not go well, their communication dies off, they become not coachable, they're trying to rewrite scripts right away, and it becomes a very big babysitting kind of deal for you. Instead, I would rather hire somebody with a 5 out of 10 skill with great charisma and great culture over a 9 out of 10 skill who might not be the best culture fit. Maybe they're a little bit good for culture, but you're really just not sure. I would not hire that person. Here's the big thing. It's harder to untrain someone's bad habits than it is to help form and train and coach sales reps on better new habits. The other part of hiring is to make sure that they're not just one of those, I'll take whatever I can get guys. If they're asking you questions on the interview, if they're really trying to gauge if this is an offer they should be selling for, and you can tell they're really digging into the questions, that is a for sure sign that they're interested in the product and they're interested in the company beyond just the paycheck. Lastly, during the hiring process, you want to get behind their goals. This is how you're going to create culture right off the hiring process. What is it they want? Are they going to grow a business in the future? Are they doing this? Are they joining as a setter and they want to become a closer and then a manager? What's their long-term goal? A lot of closers that work for you, they may want to grow a business down the line. And if you tell them that by working for you, you're supporting that goal and making that happen and you're behind them on that, you're going to create someone who's willing to go the length that you need to make sales and make this happen. They're gonna feel great about working under you. Number 2 is building an actual relationship with them during the ramp up. Not during the training period, but after calls become live, You want to have a lot of feedback and conversation with them, but don't just think tactical. Actually build a relationship with them. Yes, make sure to do multiple role plays throughout that week after their call so they're fresh. I even recommend doing a role play 3 days of that week, that first week live, in the morning to really sync them up with the offer, with the objections, to get their skill warmed up for those calls. Early closes is instant culture. And what I would do is, a number one way to build a relationship with these closers is I would do an on-the-fly culture call with them. You don't tell them, you don't plan this, you don't put in the schedule. Maybe towards the end of the week, either Thursday or Friday, you message them, hey, do you have 10 minutes for a quick call? And you call and you find out how calls are going. You talk to them about life. You talk to them, you have fun with them, you joke around with them. You actually have a great casual call with them. You can mention what's going well, what are they struggling with. You can do all that, but actually talk about their life and their goals and meet them a little bit. So after that first week, if you do this on a Friday, they're excited to kick off that second week. They're engaged and they're excited to work under you. 3 is how you're holding them accountable with communication. Leadership and the way you communicate is massive. You can say the same critique to somebody and it makes them feel useless to another person and makes them feel empowered. Number 1 about this is lead with KPIs. Most leaders just come in and start ragging on people what they're doing wrong, right? But lead with KPIs. Hey, it looks like, your show rate is 20% under everybody else. And I want to make sure that we fix that and we get that up. So I want to dive into what you are doing. So that way there's a reason. It's not just like, dude, no one's showing up to your calls. Like, what are you doing? There's a big difference in that communication. Second part is when you're communicating with them, let them know why you're pushing them. So many leaders just hound these guys. And the number one reason why people leave jobs is because they don't feel appreciated. Even if they're the top closer, they still don't feel appreciated. And that sucks. Don't be that guy. So let them know why. Like, hey, the reason I'm hitting you with all of this is because I really do believe in you. You got great talent. You got a great vibe. You're really good on the call. You bring good energy. We tweak a couple of these things, man. I want to see you sell better than everybody on this team. I want to see you make history with these sales. I want to see you make the most cash flow you can make. So down the line, when you start that business, you're going to be pumped. You're going to have a lot of savings. You're going to be able to do this. Like, let's get better, man. So that's a different vibe than, dude, you suck. I'm not saying you can't be hard on people and just come in at them and be very direct, because you will have those times. But the framing of it is super important because, again, how somebody feels, unfortunately, is a big dictator of how they're going to perform. And if you say something that really takes off their energy or makes them feel useless, you're lowering their closes. You're going to have to hire down the line, and it's messing up your paycheck if you're the manager. Framing and conditioning before the critique is super huge. And lastly, compliment over critique. There was a company that we worked with, and we took them from around $70,000 a month all the way up to $780,000 a month over 12 months. And one thing I noticed is that all the closers were unhappy and they'd bounce. It didn't matter about the money. Their best team all bounced at the same time. Why? Because out of 10 things, if 9 things were correct and 1 thing was done wrong, that's what got harped on. It's insane to me to actually see this nowadays. When you're coming at them for something that they did wrong and that you need to have that improved, make sure to come in with a few good things that they're doing correctly, then dive into what they can improve on, and then leave them with either some kind of KPI adjustment or benefit they'll get out of it. So you always want to leave them on a good, energetic point. Again, this is about building culture. The tough ego guy that just berates people all the time, that shit is over. There's a time and a place for that, and it should rarely happen. 5% of the time, you should just be coming in a hothead. And still to this point, calm, curiosity, leadership, coaching, problem solving, giving them the space to tell you how to solve the problem, all of these things are super key. 4, this is a massive one. Do not have too many meetings. If I hear one more time, hey man, as we're coaching closers, like, dude, this company's like Saturday pop-up meeting, show up or you're fired. I was like, dude, just quit. Who wants that kind of lifestyle where you're getting demanded to hop on a pop-up meeting on the weekend or you're let go? This is some of the nonsense that these leaders are doing, and we have to knock this stuff off, right? You got to take your ego out that people are working for you. If you feel like you're better than them because they're under you, you should not be in a leadership position. Just get the f*** out. Because if anything, you work for them. If you're a manager, what do your closers need to succeed? And you got to do that stuff for them. You could do 2 meetings during the week or 3 max. 1 in the early part of the week could be projections and things that they want to improve on this week. So it could be admin updates also in that meeting. What's going on with the funnels, with the marketing? Are we changing things? Are we doing a promo this week? What's happening, right, for the week? And then Wednesday could be a tactical meeting. Role play, live call audit, really going into Q&A about the calls and what they're running into and helping them overcome that. And then for the closers that obviously are low on percentage, you can have more role play with them that week. And 5 would be give them something to strive for. This is something I've loved as a closer when these companies had this. First thing is I would do a one-on-one with every rep once a month. Now, I'll tell you something. I had a situation going on with my family that was really tough back in 2015, 2016, I want to say. And it was messing me up. I mean, I wasn't sleeping well. I was stressed. My close rate went down to about 10%. And the manager was like, dude, what's up with you? There's no way we're seeing this. Like, are you good? And on the one-on-one, I was straight up just like told her what's going on, the manager. Funny enough, she had the exact situation happen in her life with her family. And it was the first time I got to talk about it with somebody. And I was on fire the next week. Because not only did it just feel good to talk to a human about that and know like, hey, my manager actually cares about me more than my stats, but it also just really got me sold on where I am. And I loved working for that company, but that little extra nudge it felt so good. And I was just like, I freaking love working here. I'm gonna fix this shit up now. Next week, I went on fire. I love random bonuses. I recommend you always have a monthly kind of bonus structure. Hit X amount of sales, you get an extra couple hundred or 1,000. Or past 10 sales, you go up to 12%. Past 15 sales, you go up to 15% commission, resets every month. But I also like having random bonuses in. If you see a bunch of people closing on the same day, it's like, let's say there's about 4 closes on that day. And you say, hey, whoever gets the 5th close, I'm gonna send you a tomahawk steak to your house. And let's say someone's already at a hat trick and one other closer got 1 close, so that's the 4 out of 5. And let's say that closer that only had 1 closes a second one, I would still reward the hat trick guy. Like, you know what, guys, together, you guys did that? That's freaking insane. I'm sending you both the tomahawk. Boom, done. That creates real culture. And besides that, I would recommend having a quarterly bonus for the best closer. So out of the 3 months, you take an average of their close rate, and the closer that performed the best of the close rate, unless their cash collected was just like insanely low. But most of the time you can go with the average close rate, and whoever did the best there should get some kind of bigger bonus, which I recommend just being cash, like $2,500. Imagine that when closers come in and they know they have monthly bonuses, they have these random bonuses that pop up out of appreciation, and they have this closer of the quarter bonus of like $2,500. Trust me, they're thinking long term. They're thinking anything but, hey, let's see if I like this job. If you do all of these things, you're gonna really find that these closers feel grounded. They like working for you. They have a great relationship. They have a great ramp up, probably early closes. There's not too many meetings, which gives them a lifestyle and allows them to just sell more. The greatest closers don't want to be on a ton of meetings. You have these monthly bonuses that creates extra stacks of cash and allows them all to have fun. And you're also having fun in Slack and wherever you guys communicate. You're creating a family, you're creating an army, you're creating people that will literally stay with you. I've experienced having closers that stayed with me even through hard times in that business and that offer, and they shouldn't have, but they did, and it rewarded them because they knew it was a tough time, but they didn't just bounce. Like, we got this. We're going to follow up. We're going to hit the CRM. We're going to make this happen if we don't have a ton of leads. With that being said, if you do these, you'll create a really good culture and you can really scale a sales department. So now if you're a business owner and you feel like you're getting pulled back into sales all the time, or your sales doesn't really grow without you being in it, then you should really talk to someone about Management Igniters, because we'll put the systems in place to increase all the bottlenecks in your business: show rate, close rate, upsell percentage, cash collected percentage. We'll fix up all your systems, pre-call, post-call. On top of that, we can get a manager in there that's highly trained and skilled up. We can bring you an army of closers from my first company, Sales Igniters. So we actually can grab a custom audience that we already have of closers that perform, put that in your business. So you have solid systems, a solid team. We'll add promotional things that we do in your business that we've done for every other company we work with that creates stacks of sales monthly. We'll give reports, data, the whole shazam. If you want to get out of the sales department, if you want to just double or even triple your revenue over X amount of time in your company and really get a team behind your sales department where it just runs on its own, I want you to check out Management Igniters, and there'll be a link in the description. You can just click on that that, you can go right to Management Igniters, see a little more info, and book a call if you need it. So look, if you want to build that culture that's really going to thrive, these are 5 of the main that you want to hit. There's so many more. There's so many videos I'm going to make on team culture about really deep stuff too in specific areas. So you're going to see plenty of that. But if you do these 5 things, you're going to really create that culture where people can strive. Comment below what's 1 to 2 takeaways you got from this. Or I would love to see what's the biggest thing that you've done in team culture that's created magnificent results. I'd love to see that. And it also would help everybody else that's viewing these videos to take things from you that's already worked in the remote closing industry.